Did you miss post narration? Because here it is again. Hey there guys, my name is Blake, also known as The Nerd, and welcome back to another episode of Pokémon SoulSilver, once again post narrated. Last time, we just explored Vermilion City. That was it. So in this episode, we're gonna take on the Vermilion Gym, but Recording Me decided to head over to this area since this alone has exclusive Pokemon. This route did not have trainers in Gold Silver, it did have trainers in Crystal, and it does have trainers here, however the Pokemon are vastly different compared to that in Crystal. And in fact, I think it's only in this route as well as a couple trainers in other routes that don't have any Pokemon from Kanto or Johto. But they instead have Pokemon that extend to the National Pokedex and only the National Pokedex. What you're seeing is a perfect example. Plusle did not originate from the second generation, rather they originated from the third generation, and they're actually pretty good double battle Pokemon when together because of their plus and minus abilities. You have no idea how long it took to actually record just that specific line alone, and mind you, I don't have a script for this. If it's post-narrated, there's still no script. I'm still going based off the top of my head, and I had to take several takes just specifically of that one. And the funny thing is, I'm actually recording this as I'm also watching the Runaway Guys Coliseum. And this is recorded about a week beforehand. Also, shoutouts to Super Duper Danny, because one of the twins' names is Danny. I apologize, Super Duper Danny, if you're nicknamed based off of a little girl here, but it is what it is. But that's all I really wanted to show off there, was just the difference between Pokemon Crystal and Heart Gold SoulSilver when it comes to the Pokemon. And yes, the remaining three trainers there also do have Pokemon that were not from the Johto Pokedex, but rather the National Pokedex itself. But speaking of, another really good thing about Kanto Pokemon is that the water Pokemon are actually almost up to par with your levels. So for example, we have this Tentacle, which is 35. Now, I did in a much later episode did state that the only good grinding spots are Victory Road. I will add that some of the surfing Pokemon, depending on the level, can also be good for grinding spots, so there's that for an option. Also, yeah, you could just surf over to the gym, you don't need cut. That's a nice shortcut, speaking of. Get it? Shortcut! You don't need cut! Cut is an HM move! Alright, so we're at the Vermilion Gym now, and you might notice these electric barriers. In Gold, Silver, and Crystal, you did not need to do this puzzle that Red, Blue, Yellow, Fire, and Leaf Green, Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu, and Let's Go Eevee all have. You know, the infamous look around the trash cans and hope you get lucky and find the next one sort of tactics. They were unlocked, so you can just face the gym later whenever you wanted to. But here in Gold, Silver, Heart Gold and Soul Silver, that's not the case. You do have to do this puzzle. How this works is, you just randomly find a trash can and hope that there is a button in it. If there's a button, the direction of the other button will depend. It can either be to the right, to the left, up, or down a bit. Now what's interesting, speaking of going back to the topic of National Pokedex Pokemon within these trainers, my original concern was a lot of the Pokemon would be replacing older Pokemon and not being true spiritual successors to Gold and Silver. Well, true spiritual remakes, I should say, of Gold and Silver. But that's luckily not the case, as you'll see in a second with this specific gentleman. So alongside having his two Pokemon from Gold, Silver, and Crystal being Pikachu and Flaffy, exclusively in Heart Gold and SoulSilver, he also has a Pokemon that was not available in those games, Electrike, which, like Plusle originated from the third generation. And honestly, it makes me so relieved that they don't remove a lot of the Pokemon that were with these trainers during the original generations, but either just replaces them for some trainers, which is honestly fine for the sake of completing the National Pokedex should you want to, or at least seeing a couple Pokemon in the National Pokedex. Or just adding another Pokemon just to not only add a little bit of a challenge, but also to kind of keep that original faith to the Gold, Silver, and Crystal games, which once again, I will applaud them because I don't think they do this in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, but then again, they give you the National Pokedex so early on. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually did that and whatnot, but I'm just really happy that they didn't change much in terms of the gym trainers, or particularly any Pokemon trainer. Now, let's continue on our search with the trash cans and whatnot. We can get lucky, but sometimes we can get unlucky. And again, the RNGs of these trash cans are really, really iffy. You think you have one, but suddenly you may not actually have one if you look in the other direction. As you'll see an example of this right now. I looked in the right side of the trash can and it locked up. So it's rigged. To put it briefly, it is rigged, but it's also RNG and luck based as well. I feel at least there's luck in these sort of puzzles. Well, specifically the Vermilion one. And I'm glad Vermilion is the only one that does something like this, because had there been more puzzles like this probably would have made the games even more annoying. Like, honestly, I'm gonna say this straight up, Vermilion's gym is like the most annoying one in the Pokemon series, because I think I summed it up more than 2 times. Luck, RNG, and directions, which can be confusing to new people, especially if you play Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, which unfortunately also has this sort of puzzle. But once you have all 2 of those shut down, at least the electric fences and the buttons and whatnot, you can face Lieutenant Surge, and whenever you re-enter the gym, you do not need to worry about those whatsoever. So, kind of a nice relief once you have the puzzle done. You don't have to worry about doing that sort of puzzle ever again. Really wish more gym puzzles were like that, where if once it's solved, you don't have to go through it again in order for you to talk to the gym leader. Should you have a random moment of wanting to talk to the gym leader for whatever reason, but for Lieutenant Surge, it's fine. Hey, speaking of, I like your little thing right there. I may not be very smart, or it may not be smart to challenge me, but it takes guts. Even in post-nurse form, I can't get that right. When it comes to electric-type Pokemon, I'm #1. I've never lost on the battlefield. I'll zap you just like I do all my enemies in battle. I try to go for the Pokemon Puzzle League sort of thing, if you remember. If you remember, Lieutenant Surge's voices in Puzzle League is all like, playtime's over, something like that. But Lieutenant Surge actually has 5 Pokemon, so our very first one, and it's a lot of Pokemon. He starts off with the Raichu, and of course my Bulbapedia page just freaking resets itself whenever I'm want to look at it. I have like 3 tabs open, actually 2 windows, one for the Coliseum, as I mentioned before, and one for right now, unfortunately. So this Raichu, as you can see, is level 51 with Thunder Wave, Shockwave, Quick Attack, and Double Team. If you have a ground type, I will spoil the rest of his team. Only, I think, a couple Pokemon will be able to hit it, but not very many will actually hit them hard. I think the most they'll do is either Quick Attack or something like that. I know one of them cannot even touch a ground type, but we'll get to that in just a second whenever we get to that. So, luckily I have Earthquake and Soft Sand, which, despite the fact that we're 8 levels below, is still a wonder to my eyes that we're able to... Well, then again, I was about to say, it's amazing that we're able to beat a bunch of Pokemon at a higher level than us, but Soft Sand, Earthquake, kind of weak defenses, it doesn't really make it all that much of a miracle. But here is what I'm talking about in terms of one of his Pokemon cannot touch me. I don't know if this is the Electrode or whatnot, I think this is the one with Screech, but he does have 2 Electrodes, each at level 47 with a static ability, much like Raichu has. One of them has Thunder Wave, Double Team, Shockwave, and Light Screen, and the one you're seeing right now has Screech, Double Team, Self-Destruct, and Charge Beam. Yeah, the only one that can do a lot of damage to Ground-type Pokemon, because it can Screech and it can Self-Destruct, which honestly is a very nice combo if you don't have the right moves to pull it off, but if you do have the right moves to pull off this gym, #1, it's going to be easy as heck, but #2, that Electrode isn't going to be able to do anything. And here is another Pokemon he's actually able to take care of ground types with. Though, once again, not that well, since 4 times sweep the ground, yeah, it ain't gonna live Earthquake anytime soon. Magneton at level 47, sturdy for the ability, with Supersonic, Double Team, Shockwave, and Mirror Shot. And yeah, 4 times weak to ground, sturdy not being the 5th gen, very good sturdy that we know and love. Magneton just goes down easily. Man, I cannot imagine any of the Magneton or Magnemite Evolution family without sturdy in 5th generation. Like, in 4th generation, because sturdy isn't that good, you'd have to be extra careful around pretty much any ground type Pokemon, whether it's weaker than you or stronger against you. You still have to be careful. But his final Pokemon is Electabuzz at level 53. Once again, another Pokemon that can take out ground type Pokemon, though not that much. Actually, if it's pure ground type or any ground type secondary typing that isn't poison, like Nidoking over here, it'd be able to use Low Kick alongside Quick Attack, Shockwave, and Light Screen, which are its 3 other moves. And of course, like any signature Pokemon, it does hold the Citrus Berry, and like the rest of his team, it has Static. and it's level 53 as you saw there, but luckily, luckily it doesn't survive an earthquake, especially from soft sand. The power of soft sand is enough to annihilate any high-level electric-type Pokemon at really high levels. You can suck it, Lieutenant Surge. Despite the fact you're from America. Here's the final Electrode. It doesn't have any moves that deal a lot of damage to ground types or anything at all. It has Thunder Wave, Double Team, Shockwave, and Light Screen. The most it could do is Double Team and kind of annoy you, but yeah. I forgot to point this out a little earlier in the narration, but it turns out that I did actually miss an Earthquake. The first Earthquake of the Kanto region, we actually missed it because Double Team, of course it did. We went through Elevation, just raising moves and actions dealing ones like Smoke Screen, Double Team, and of course, one of those missed because the first Double Team of the Kanto region, and it kind of disappoints me to this day. Anyways, that was an easy battle from Lieutenant Surge, so we get a little bit extra money. Well, the same amount of money he would have gotten. Arg, you're strong! Okay, kid, you get the Thunder Badge! I like how I now finally perfected that, and it took me ages on the first one. Congratulations! You get the Thunder Badge! The Thunder Badge suits those who defeated me! Wow, I took a long time with this one. Take good care of it, okay? There's something else. Here's a great TM for you. And he gives us a move that honestly could have been useful for Chuck and Team Rocket. And I don't understand why they give it to us now when it could have been later on. I'm so sorry, I'm salty over that. But he gives us the TM34, which contains Shockwave. Which, again, it helps because this move never misses. So let's say any opponent sets up 6 double teams and it's not a ground type or has fly or dig, it is using it. It will still hit the opponent. If you have 6 smoke screens down on you or something that will lower your accuracy 6 times, it will still hit. This is a perfect move for those of you who are really worried about missing. The most powerful one is Aura Sphere, and that still doesn't miss. Again, unless the opponent uses moves like Fly or Dig or Giratina and it has Shadow Force, or even Smeargle that has Shadow Force. That's the only times this move can miss. Otherwise, use it to your heart's content because it will never miss. Now, he does suggest you can head north of Saffron. And if you want to get to the next town above, you will actually need to go above to Saffron City, so we'll also be taking another nice little detour. The last time we did that detour, oh yeah, Lyra called us. Actually, here's a funny thing. I think she did call us about her Marrow ones evolving to a Azumarill. I'm assuming that A, she either breeds more Marrows, or B, she devolves her Azumarill on purpose just to evolve it again. Does she soft reset her game or something like that? I don't know. But like I mentioned before, if you do want to head north, you will need to actually go through Saffron City. Did you guys hear that nice little Daffy Duck impersonation I did accidentally? I accidentally sounded like Daffy Duck! Okay, I'm gonna stop. That was embarrassing. But yeah, now we're gonna head north out of Vermilion City. I don't know what I was doing there. Maybe... I don't remember why. Oh, the bike thing. That's why. The bike makes it a little bit easier. But I'll show you guys how I get over there. Which, again, you do need to go through Saffron City. That's like the 3rd time I say that. I really need to stop repeating myself. But unfortunately, I can't stop repeating myself. Otherwise, how am I going to make this even better? So, here's a fun fact. You do need to beat the gym. However, I think at a much later point, I do show this up again. I think you do need to beat not only the Vermilion Gym, but I think you also need to defeat the, shoot, what's it called? You also need to beat the upcoming gym, well, at least one of the gyms I'm battling, not in the next episode, but the episode after, just a little bit of a heads up, but that's as far as I remember, because again, post-narration is fantastic. Now, I also did save you some trouble and cut ahead to when I actually headed towards the North Gate, which leads us to Route 5, which is just a small patch of grass, and that's pretty much about it. We do get to go to Cerulean City, however, it's only temporarily since I did want to show off that building over there, as well as some of the Pokemon you can get, which are also the same level as if you left Cerulean City in your gym quest in the Kanto region, starting with the 1st gen, 3rd gen, and 7th gen. I was debating whether I wanted to get this Abra because there was one more in-game trade that I could have done in the Johto region, but I opted not to since that honestly was just specifically for that gym fight, and really what other purpose would that be for? So that's why I opted out of it. But we do have this house, which used to be the daycare center, but now it's just a house where you can get a cleanse tag, which acts as a held version of Repels, which does eliminate wild Pokemon if the Pokemon up front is pretty high leveled at that rate. It does save you some money in case you don't want to buy Repels, although I would recommend just buying Repels anyways, since in case you do forget the Pokemon that has the cleanse tag, or decide to remove the cleanse tag item, the effect will no longer be in effect again once that Pokemon's item is removed. Man, I am so professional at repeating stuff. I should go to college for that sort of thing. If there was a school for that, I would probably be the top student there. But I am going to wrap up this episode here, since all I did was just go towards the backside of Route 5 for some reason, and then I shall leave out in Cerulean City, which I'm going to take care of in the next episode. I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. If there's any episodes you missed, whether from the past or from the future, make sure you check out the playlist down in the description below, the eye in the top right corner, or the upcoming end slate. And the next episode, there will also be some partial post-narration, because I suck at Audacity when it comes to these 2 episodes. But don't worry, I get back on track much later on. In fact, during the second half of the next episode. So, until we meet again, remember to check out the playlist down in the description below, the eye in the top right corner, or the upcoming end slate. I'm pretty sure I might have repeated that already, but just in case you need a reminder like 15 seconds later, there's that. With that being said though, my name is Blake, also known as The Nerd, and I will see you guys in the next episode. So, until we meet again, do remember to take care.